In Thailand, archaeologist Luke is riding his scooter, ignoring a string of calls from someone named Kasim. Before long, several cars close in around him. Kasim demands that Luke return the tube containing the painting he stole from his boss. One of Kasim's guys is armed, so Luke pretends he's about to pull over. But instead of stopping, he waits for the cars to pass, then swerves down a different street. A high-speed chase kicks off, and Luke manages to move fast enough that his pursuers crash into other vehicles. He veers into a marketplace where the cars can't follow, leaving only one biker on his tail. When Luke ducks into a cramped apartment building, the tight space causes the biker to wipe out too. Luke runs down the stairs and exits the building, but Kasim's car blocks his way. He gets knocked off his scooter, but the moment locals crowd around, Luke uses the distraction to crawl away. Kasim fires a shot into the air to clear the crowd and sends his men after Luke on foot. Despite injuring his leg, Luke keeps moving as fast as he can while dodging gunfire. He calls his team to say he's not going to make his flight. They tell him to catch a train instead. After racing through another market, Luke hijacks a vendor's food cart. Kasim gets back in his car to pursue him. Luke unhooks the cart from his scooter, sending it flying into Kasim's car. Flames spread across the windshield, and Kasim crashes into traffic. The police quickly close in on him, giving Luke a chance to get away. At the station, Luke jumps off his scooter and sprints after the departing train, barely managing to hop aboard. That night, he dozes off in his seat and dreams of finding and stealing a golden mask inside an ancient temple. When he wakes up, a woman named Esme is sitting across from him. She tells him she recovers rare paintings for a living, and that the men nearby work for her. When Luke refuses to hand over the painting, Esme pulls out a knife and one of her men grabs him from behind in a chokehold. Esme tries to wrestle the tube from him, even kicking him when he won't let go, but Luke grabs her arm. She shrugs off her jacket and backs away. Luke grabs a plate off the table and smashes it on the thug's head before headbutting him to break free. He goes after Esme, taking down another thug along the way, but Esme quickly flips the fight and knocks him down again. Luke fights off yet another guy and catches up to her. Esme slashes with her knife, but accidentally cuts the strap holding the tube. Both of them grab onto opposite ends of the strap. Luke dodges the knife as it flies past and yanks the tube hard, sending Esme tumbling into the train's bathroom. He slams the door shut and locks her in. After that, Luke climbs to the roof of the train car and waits until a nearby water tower is within reach. He leaps toward it, but misses the railing and crashes through the roof of a shack. He immediately calls his team to pick him up. Meanwhile, in London, Luke's sister Charlotte is in a legal meeting with her cheating ex-husband Harold and his lawyer, discussing their divorce. Harold wants full custody of their son, which infuriates Charlotte. Later, Charlotte is at her museum job when she's shocked to see Luke walk in. He pretends he's there just to visit, but since they rarely see each other, she knows something's up. Luke suggests she should join him on his adventures like they used to do with their dad, but Charlotte reminds him that she's a mom now and values her curator career. Luke then points out damage on one of the paintings. While Charlotte checks it out, he sneaks a different painting off the wall. The alarm instantly sounds, and the security doors begin locking down. Luke bolts outside, with Charlotte chasing after him and demanding the painting. He tells her he'll only hand it over if she gets in the car. As soon as she does, Luke speeds off, pulling wild turns to throw off the police now hot on their trail.
Give the painting back!
Oh, come on, Charlotte.
After weaving through tight alleyways, he drives into the back of a truck where his teammates Murphy and Deb are waiting. Charlotte instantly recognizes them. They were part of their father's old crew. While Luke and Charlotte argue about the life choices she's made, Murphy examines the stolen painting closely and realizes it's not the one they're after. Luke tells Charlotte she can have the painting back, then knocks her out with a spray. Moments later, she wakes up alone on a park bench. In a panic, Charlotte rushes back to the museum, where Inspector Jamal is investigating the theft. He suspects she may have helped Luke, but as they argue, they notice something strange. The stolen painting has been returned to its place. After work, Charlotte tries to pick up her son, Thomas, but Harold refuses to let her take him. He's heard she's now a suspect. Furious, Charlotte tracks Luke down and finds him with a wealthy man named Owen. Owen explains he's terminally ill with cancer and has hired Luke's team to search for the Fountain of Youth, possibly his only hope of survival. Charlotte dismisses the fountain as a myth, But Luke insists there's truth in every legend. Cultures all over the world have written about it. There's no way it's just coincidence. According to legend, God hid the fountain's location from mankind. Luke's team believes the secret has been passed down through generations by specific families known as the Protectors of the Path, whose duty is to keep the location hidden. Luke suspects Esme is one of those protectors. Back in the 1600s, 6 artists supposedly made a pact to reveal the fountain's whereabouts by hiding clues across several paintings. These are the artworks Luke's been stealing from different countries. Each painting contains hidden markings, signatures in Latin that translate to 6 and 1, meaning 6 paintings and 1 path. They also include specific letters, but the team hasn't cracked their meaning yet. Charlotte realizes they've stolen the wrong Rembrandt and that they need her help to locate the real one. She's not interested, though. Her focus is on her son. That's when Owen offers to use his powerful legal team to help her. In exchange, Charlotte tells them to look into the Vanderbilt family. Later that evening, Luke is reading up on the Vanderbilts at a cafe when Esme shows up. She tells him to abandon the search, or she'll take out his entire team.
No.
Stop it now, or we will stop you. All of you.
That I will see you.
The next day, Luke attends Thomas's piano recital and tells Charlotte he's figured out where the real painting is. After some back and forth, he manages to convince her to help retrieve it.
Look at you.
You made a big impression on him last time.
I better get going.
Yeah, go. Oh, Cap. Yeah. Oh!
Not long after, the team is aboard a ship off the coast of Ireland, searching for a sunken cruise liner where the painting was last seen. They deploy special drones underwater to slice off the section of the ship holding the first-class cargo and attach flotation devices to bring it to the surface. Once it's raised, Luke and Charlotte head inside, using an old map to guide them through the ship. Meanwhile, on the main ship, the team spots something approaching on radar and tries to warn Luke, but the radios aren't working. A helicopter soon drops Esme and her crew onto the liner. Inside, Charlotte finds a bottle of alcohol and takes a drink, while Luke uses a blowtorch to open a closet marked with Vanderbilt's name. Inside, he finds a box and the missing painting. The siblings toast to their success. Luke eyes some jewelry, but when he tries to grab it, Charlotte slaps his hand, reminding him they're not grave robbers. The flotation tanks are starting to give out, and time is running short. As they try to leave, they're ambushed by Esme's heavily armed team. That doesn't stop Luke and Charlotte. They fight back. During the scuffle, the bag with the painting falls. Esme's men open fire, which keeps her from getting to the bag. The bullets ricochet off the metal walls, even damaging their own helicopter and the flotation tanks. As water floods the ship, Luke slips and is held at gunpoint by one of the men. Charlotte smashes a chair over the guy's head, giving Luke the chance to grab the painting. But just as he does, Esme grabs Charlotte and holds her at knife point. The damaged helicopter lifts off, and the liner begins to sink. Luke doesn't think Esme will actually hurt Charlotte, so he stalls for time. But suddenly, the ship starts shaking violently. Charlotte seizes the moment, elbows Esme, and shoves her over the balcony into the ocean below. The siblings try to make their escape, but a massive wave crashes into them. Luke's leg gets tangled in a net, dragging him underwater. As the ship starts to sink, Charlotte dives in and frees Luke, and the two of them swim to the surface, where their team is waiting in a rescue boat.
Success?
Yes, we got it.
You're a clever boy.
Back in London, Harold surprises Charlotte by asking her to take Thomas. He's moving to Japan for a new job. He casually mentions the name of the company, and Charlotte quickly realizes Owen pulled strings to make it happen so she could be with her son. Charlotte then reunites with the team to re-examine the letters using the newly recovered painting. The letters now spell out the word wicked. Remembering the 6 in 1 clue, they realize it must be pointing to the Wicked Bible, a misprinted 1631 edition of the King James Bible. In this version, one of the 10 Commandments reads, "Thou shalt commit adultery," instead of, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." The team wonders, what if that wasn't just a typo? What if it was done intentionally to mark select Bibles that held hidden clues to the fountain's location? All copies were supposedly destroyed, except one. Just then, Inspector Jamal and a group of officers storm in to arrest Luke and Charlotte, but they're interrupted when Kassem and his men burst in, guns drawn, holding everyone at gunpoint. Luke steps up with an offer. Kassem can take him and all the paintings, as long as he lets the rest of the team go. Kassem agrees, and Charlotte leaves with the others. Left alone, Luke pretends he's reaching for the paintings, but instead he plays music on the speakers and ducks under the table. The distraction gives the police the opportunity to ambush Kassem's men, and chaos erupts. Fists start flying, then bullets. Luke's car takes a few hits. Amid the fight, Luke sneaks out the back, where his team is waiting with a boat. He hops on and escapes. Meanwhile, the fight inside rages on, and the police eventually take down Kassem's crew. Jamal later checks the computer and notices the reference to the Wicked Bible. Sometime later, Luke is wandering a desert and comes across a glass of glowing liquid. He takes a sip. Suddenly, in a vision, Charlotte and Thomas begin aging rapidly. A voice calls out, "Don't drink!" and Luke drops the glass. It shatters, and he wakes up on a plane. The team is flying to Austria, where the last known copy of the Wicked Bible is kept. Thomas is now part of the adventure. Later, at the Austrian National Library, Luke, Charlotte, and Deb are granted access to the rare book thanks to a generous donation from Owen. Meanwhile, Owen is treating Thomas to lunch at a restaurant, patiently answering all his questions about being rich. Inside the library's restricted section, the trio is shown the Wicked Bible. The librarian also points out a second misprint, this time involving an obscene word. While they're examining the book, Murphy keeps watch outside. He spots Esme and her team arriving and quickly alerts the others. Luke heads out to intercept her. After trading a few quips, Luke and Esme start fighting, using bookshelves and furniture as weapons. One of Esme's men jumps in to help, but Luke takes him down fast. Esme tries to hold Luke at gunpoint, but he disarms her. She grabs a rope and starts choking him with it, stepping on it for leverage. Thinking fast, Luke shoves her, leaving her tangled and hanging from the chandelier. Back in the rare book room, Murphy tells the team the exits are all blocked. They'll need to use Plan B. They knock out the librarian with a spray and grab the Bible. Deb plants a small explosive on the floor, blowing a hole that lets them escape into the sewers. Meanwhile, Esme's men try to kidnap Owen, but he handles them easily, taking them out within minutes while keeping Thomas safe. Later that evening, Jamal arrives at the library and begins tracking Luke again. Back at a hotel, the team examines the Bible and notices a recurring number pattern in the gilded edges. It only uses digits from 1 to 7, but they still haven't figured out how to decode it. At that moment, Charlotte announces she's leaving. After hearing about what happened to Thomas, she doesn't want to risk putting him in danger again. As they're heading out, Thomas tells Charlotte that the team is going about the puzzle all wrong. They turn around and go back. Once inside, Thomas explains that the digits in the code aren't actual numbers. They stand for the 7 basic musical notes. He plays a melody based on the sequence, and a quick online search identifies the tune as Water in the Desert. It's so ancient that no one even knows who composed it, but it's known for paying tribute to the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The team highlights all 7 wonders on a map, then overlays the path they uncovered from the paintings, and the two line up perfectly, except for one spot, the pyramids of Giza. That's the missing piece. They realize the fountain must be there. The group prepares to leave for Egypt, and Owen convinces Charlotte to come along by promising he's hired full security. That night, Luke dreams about the golden mask again. This time, a mysterious figure reaches for him. When it touches the sand, a dark spreading substance begins to corrupt Luke. He jolts awake. Charlotte asks how much he really knows about Owen. Luke insists he's a good guy, but Charlotte's not so sure. She's starting to worry Owen wants to find the fountain just to sell it. Meanwhile, at the Vatican, the head of the Protectors gives Esme a special key designed to stop anyone from drinking from the fountain. Soon after, the team arrives in Egypt. Luke shows Thomas advanced pyramid scans that reveal hidden chambers that have never been accessed until now. At the site, Charlotte watches the security team unload bags and gets suspicious. A famous professor gives them a tour, but even he doesn't know how to get into the secret chambers. Owen grows impatient and tells his men to start digging, revealing that the bags are filled with excavation tools. The professor protests, insisting they shouldn't damage such a priceless site, but Owen's men forcefully eject him. Charlotte objects too, and Owen suddenly snaps, his tone turning colder and more calculated. Outside, Inspector Jamal shows up and asks to enter. The guards turn him away. A few minutes later, Jamal returns, this time with a fleet of police cars. In response, the security team opens fire and blows up the vehicles. A full-blown shootout erupts, with the survivors taking cover and firing back. Nearby, Esme watches it all unfold, waiting for her moment. Back inside the pyramid, the team discovers a hidden passage and makes their way to a secret chamber. They find a massive structure that clearly needs to be moved, but it's too heavy to budge. Owen orders his men to bring the tools. To Charlotte's horror, the bags also contain weapons. The tools fail to work, and Owen now wants to use explosives. Both Luke and Charlotte strongly object. While the adults argue, Thomas explores and stumbles upon an ancient instrument. When he plays it, the sound activates a network of pipes in the chamber, some kind of acoustic system that interacts with the structure. At just the right moment, Charlotte strikes a gong and the entire room trembles. Sand starts shifting on the structure, forming patterns. Amazingly, Charlotte is now able to move it with one hand, revealing a hidden lift. The group climbs onto the platform, and it begins lowering them into the depths. Outside, Murphy and Deb realize the security team has gone too far. They ambush a few of them, taking down several guards. But during the fight, Deb is shot in the arm, and Murphy scrambles to pull her to safety. Just as one of the guards is about to finish them off, Esme jumps in and takes him out, then proceeds to beat down the surrounding thugs. More armed men rush at her, so she uses one of the bodies as a shield while firing back. Once the private security team is neutralized, Esme and Jamal agree to join forces. They enter the pyramid together, fighting their way through the remaining guards protecting the now open chamber.
Thank you.
Esme finds ropes in one of the bags, which they use to rappel down the lift shaft. Underground, the lift comes to a stop and drops the team into a hallway lined with cryptic, paradoxical inscriptions on the walls. They follow the path until they reach a dead end, featuring a carving of the Tree of Life. Charlotte takes a piece of amber from a statue of the Egyptian goddess Naunet and places it into the carving. The wall reacts, slowly opening to reveal another chamber. But as they step in, they realize they're standing at a dangerous height above the ground. Luke touches a gemstone on a wall carving, and suddenly a series of stone staircases begin to extend from the walls. They descend the stairs and reach the ground level. Suddenly, a small hole opens beneath them, revealing another staircase leading to a lower chamber. In the center of this new room, there's a shallow puddle of water, possibly the legendary Fountain of Youth. Charlotte reminds everyone about the warnings carved into the walls. If someone isn't truly ready for a blessing, they'll receive a curse instead. Owen insists Luke should drink first and becomes increasingly hostile, making Charlotte realize he's probably not dying at all. Cold and emotionless, Owen admits he came not for healing, but to sell the fountain. Then he pulls a gun and shoots Luke in the arm, forcing him toward the water. As soon as Luke touches the puddle, the water responds, rising and flowing to form a full fountain. Blood drips from Luke's wound and merges with the water, which lifts him gently into the air. His hands begin to glow, and within them, he sees a vision of his younger self. But just as he's about to drink, another vision flashes before him. Charlotte and Thomas rapidly aging. Instead of drinking, Luke makes a choice to protect them. He pulls his hands apart and the fountain heals his wound as a reward. Enraged, Owen fires again, but the water shields Luke and lowers him safely to the ground. Then Owen cuts his own hand and lets his blood fall into the fountain. As the magical water begins to rise around him, Esme remembers what the leader of the Protectors told her. If someone selfless drinks, they gain eternal youth, but at the cost of their loved ones' lives. If someone selfish drinks, the fountain consumes their own life instead. Owen drinks. Instantly, his body starts to age at an alarming rate. He screams in agony as the water swirls violently. Esme bangs a nearby gong, triggering the chamber's defenses. Doors begin slamming shut. The hole in the floor closes, forcing the team to race up the stairs, leaving Owen behind to perish in the water. During their escape, Owen's bodyguard loses his footing and falls to his death. Luke slips too, but Esme grabs his arm and helps him back up. The passageways are collapsing and they're dodging falling debris, barely making it out in time.
Hey, there are many who can touch and not take.
I'm impressive.
Once outside, Jamal admits the truth. Owen was the real villain behind everything. Esme, impressed by Luke's strength and selflessness, leans in and kisses him on the cheek before saying goodbye. As the dust settles, the siblings start talking about their next big adventure. Thomas chimes in with a smile. He already has an idea. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.